Hello, this is a short demonstration of the Xataface tagger module and widget. The tagger widget is, well, I'll demonstrate it here. It allows you to take a many-to-many relationship like I have here between my articles table and the cities table, and it gives me the ability to add records to that relationship using a tag-like interface. So I can just start typing in here and it'll autocomplete for me. And what that is actually showing me is a record in the cities table called Vancouver. It got by just typing it. And I can actually add new records that aren't there yet. You can see there's no autocomplete for Toronto. And I hit enter, and there it's added Toronto. Now I can double click on Toronto and change some of the information here also, such as right now it's got the wrong country and province because I've got some defaults put in there. But I can actually edit this record in full just by double clicking it without even leaving the form. So that's what we're trying to achieve with the tagger widget. There's a couple parts to get this going. The first thing you have to do is install assuming you have a Xataface application up and running, we need to install the tagger widget. So I've got, let's see, my application is just called Chachaku here. And there's quite a bit of stuff here right now, but the modules directory is where all modules are installed. And you can see I've already got the module installed here. I'm going to delete my tagger module so I can show you from the start how to install it. So you can see I've already got quite a few other modules here. That's just in the modules directory inside the main site directory. That's my main site directory. So I'm going to check out the latest module from Subversion. So I'm already in that directory, so I'm going to go svn checkout So I'm checking out the trunk, which is this location, and I'm going to save it in a directory called tagger, all lowercase, and it has to be exactly this name or the module won't work. So this is going to check out all the files into my modules directory. I can see now that I have the tagger module there. If I go in there, I can take a look and see all the files. It's got a README, which also has installation instructions, the version. It's got the tagger.php, which is the actual module file, the widget.php, which is used to actually install the widget, but you don't really need to touch any of these files if you don't want to. The next step is I need to edit the conf.ini file of my application. And this already has quite a bit of stuff here. We're looking for the modules section, and if your conf.ini file doesn't have a module section yet, you can just add it. And you can see I already have it here, but the order shouldn't matter, but sometimes it does. I'm just going to put it in the same place here after the modules G2. So I go modules underscore tagger, which is the name of the module, and point at the location, which is in the modules tagger.php. That's the tagger module file. And now that's pretty much all you need to do to install it. Now using it is the second part of this. Now the application I showed here is really a simple application. We've got an articles table and we have a cities table, and we have a many-to-many relationship between articles and cities. Now I'm going to remove the cities widget there so that I can't add things the normal way, and I'm going to make a change here also. So now we're starting from a place where I don't see my cities widget here like I had before. I still have, if I go back out of this, well actually I need to create a new article to see something. Test article, thumbnail image, banner, test. Oh my goodness, a whole bunch of things to fill in here. And now I have my article. And so if I look at the relationships, we've got a whole bunch of relationships, including cities. So if I go to cities here, I can add an existing city or I can add a new city. And this is a little bit inconvenient if I have to, for every article, add the article, and then go into the cities tab and go add existing city, then select from a list of the cities I already have. It can be time consuming, especially if I have 3 or 4 cities that I want to tag in an article. That's exactly what tags are for. So we already have the relationship here. I'm just going to show the definition of that relationship. Cities. So here's the definition of the relationship. There's a join table, article city, that joins cities and articles. And that's a very typical many-to-many relationship. For the tagger widget to work, it needs to be a many-to-many relationship. You can't use a one-to-many relationship. That's how tags conceptually are. It's many-to-many. One-to-many just won't work because then deleting a tag would be like deleting a whole other record in the other table. It just doesn't really fit the paradigm as well. So I'm going to, in order to get my cities field onto the articles edit form, I'm going to go to the fields.ini file of the articles table. You can see I've already got a whole bunch of things here. And I'm going to create a transient field called cities, and widget type equals tagger. And this is available because I've installed the module and placed the appropriate line in the conf.ini file. I'm going to reference the cities relationship that's already been defined, and so that my transient field will be associated with that. Oh, and I have to make sure the field is transient. A transient field is basically a field that doesn't exist in the database, but we want it to appear on the edit form. And it needs to have transient equals 1 as a directive. And you'll notice that a lot of my location type fields are in the group location. I'm just going to do that for consistency so it loads in the place that I want it to. And the tagger label with directive is necessary because there's a lot of different fields in the table, in the cities table, and we need to tell Xataface which of those fields should appear in the tag when somebody's typing. And when they're typing, which field is it searching to look for matching tags. So we're just going to use the name field from the cities table for that. So now that we have this portion, all we had to do was add this transient field. Let's look back at our article form, edit the same article. Scroll down to my location section, and we have cities. So I can go Vancouver, and it's added the Vancouver tag. Now if I want to add, at this point, it doesn't know how to add a new tag yet because there's other fields other than the name that has to be filled in, and there's actually some necessary fields like province. So if I go Montreal, well, actually that worked. I removed all the requirements. This actually did add the field. If province or state here was a required field, which actually it used to be, then adding this would fail. It would come up with a little error message saying that it was unable to add the tag. And that's why sometimes you will need to actually implement a method in the delegate class for articles to tell Xataface how to add the tag. And I'm going to add that right now. It'll be set up to create a default province. So let's go into the articles delegate class, and the notation of the function is function, the name of the field, cities, underscore underscore add tag. And it takes a Xataface record as the first parameter. This is the article that is, might as well name that. This is the article that we're editing, and then the second parameter is value, which is the string that is being added. And I've got a pre-done one here that I'm just going to paste in. Where did that? No. Pasted in the wrong spot. So all this does is it's looking for the first province and it's setting that as the province ID. The name is set as the string that is passed to it. That's the name. And I'm also presetting the URL because there's a URL field, and I'm just making it the same as the name, but we're changing it to all lowercase just for convenience. So this gives you quite a bit of flexibility on what to do when you're adding a tag. Notice that all I do here is create the city record. It's a Xataface new record. I don't have to insert it. Xataface will take this record and insert it if necessary. So, I mean, if you insert it, you'll notice I have this commented out city save. That actually is not necessary. If you did that, it would just be redundant, an extra database hit, because it would save it anyways on its own. So now that we have that part, we'll notice when I added Montreal, oh, it did get the oh, I've got the URL being added separately in the before save method, but it didn't set a province or state. So let's add a new one here, and we're going to make it Langley. And we'll see what happened with this. It set a default province of New South Wales. Well, this isn't exactly where it is. Default country of Australia, that's not exactly where it is either. But you can set your defaults to be whatever you want. So this is, in effect, just the tagger widget. It makes it much easier to add and edit related records from a many-to-many relationship in Xataface. That's the demonstration. Thank you for watching.